people to watch it. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So none of you guys have formally met John Malott. And this is one of the mentors that me, Ben, and Luke, and all the other guys who got in first partnered up with directly. John Malott is someone who has been in the industry of network marketing for 25 years, and he's only been with 2 companies. And so that is really, really impressive. He's been highly successful in everything that he's done. He's always excelled to the top. He actually owns this brand called Build Your Empire. It has like 1.5 million followers on Instagram. I believe the CEO of the company is an 18-year-old. So it's just really cool. They have a big mansion out there in Arizona. But what's really cool about John, and what I love about him probably the most, is that, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, John actually used to be, a criminal, a drug addict. He didn't graduate high school. He doesn't have a diploma. He didn't go to college. Yet he is so massively successful. And so that's why I love being mentored by this guy, is because he has all the things that a person could possibly want, but he didn't have the things that society always said that you needed to become successful. So I am so excited for you guys to hear from him and to hear what he has to say. I know that he's going to be opening the lineup here soon for questions, so I hope that you guys will be able to unmute. If not, we'll get that figured out. But I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to him.
Hey, Crystal, appreciate you very much. Thank you. I don't always get introduced as a criminal, so let me let me explain to everybody, for those that are just getting to know me tonight. I'm excited to be on this call. I've been on Crystal to put this together so I can meet the team and hopefully provide some value for you guys to really help move you to the next level and help your business go to the next level. But the deal is real simple. I don't have all the things that society says you're supposed to have to be successful. You know how society has a way of putting people in boxes. It could be the color of your skin. It could be your age, your gender. In my case, it was my lack of education. I ended up doing exactly what society expected from a 10th grade dropout. I found myself working over at the General Electric plant. I have a title now. I'm a custodial engineer. You guys know what that means. I can sweep a mean floor, and I'm scrubbing another man's toilets. I'm a janitor. I'm working paycheck to paycheck. I'm struggling to keep up with the big mouth promises I made to family, friends, and bill collectors. I was really getting nowhere very, very fast. I was just frustrated. And it started off, when I was 15 years old, I had my first felony arrest. And that I found myself locked in detention facilities most of my young life. By 17 years old, when I'm being released, we had a cocaine epidemic hit my neighborhood. And, at 17 years old, I had a heart attack from smoking cocaine. So my life was just a mess. When I remember leaving a facility, and all I owned in the world were the sneakers on my feet, the jeans, and the sweatshirt that I owned. That was it. I had already destroyed all the relationships in my life. Because the pursuit of my drug habit consumed everything that I did. And I don't know if you can relate or someone that can. I lost my sister when she was 21 years old to heroin. My brother to this day is an active heroin addict. He has dedicated his entire life to the pursuit of his heroin addiction. And it's tough to watch. And we come from a family that's been ripped apart by drugs and alcohol and a neighborhood torn apart by crime. But somewhere along the way, it's interesting how 3 people can come from the same household, and one can find their path, and 2 more don't. And what is that? What is that about? And I think a lot of it comes down to, of course, circumstances, environment, all that plays a role. But then it comes down to mentors. I had some amazing people that came into my life very early on, and that's why I'm so adamant about doing calls like this, because mentors, guiders, people that had been where I wanted to go came into my life, and they saw more of me than I saw in myself. And they started to direct me. They started to give me direction for the first time. They started to, hold my hand. And it's interesting. Have you ever had someone that really saw more in you than you saw in yourself? And all of a sudden you're doing things that you wouldn't have done before. I remember, I didn't really go to school, but I didn't like school so much, but I had a particular English teacher who made it fun, and he actually acted as if I was somebody. He treated me like somebody. So I skipped every other class except for that English class. And I excelled in that one class. I mean, it's interesting when you think about this stuff. In a business like this, if you can find the right mentors that look like you, or they don't even have to look like you. They just have to be like you in a certain way, or there's something that relates to you. All of a sudden, now you find yourself putting up production, doing things that you wouldn't have done without that person. Matter of fact, that's what leadership is about. Leadership is about having the right people that can influence us in the right way, hopefully, to do the things or to bring out, for me, it was bringing out that potential. You guys know everybody on this call already has that potential. You have it inside of you. It's just a matter of figuring it out. You wouldn't have joined Crystal's team. You wouldn't have joined this organization if you didn't already believe somewhere inside of you, whether it's subconsciously or whatever, that you have what it takes to get to that next level. Would you guys agree with that? Can I get a nod of the heads here for a minute? I need some feedback from y'all. There we go. I got a thumbs up. I appreciate that, Caesar. Is it Caesar? Yeah. I see you driving, bro. Be careful on the road, man. All right, so listen, this is what I want to talk about. So first, I want you to understand what we have here. I did a call yesterday. I don't know if any of you had a chance to hear. I talked about disruptors. And for me to participate in a company, I want to be part of the disruption of an industry. And if you look at what happened, look, think of it as like Uber. What did Uber do? Uber disrupted the transportation industry in a massive way, disrupted the taxi business. These establishments, these entrenched organizations that continue to do business as usual. I met a postal worker. I was in San Diego a few weeks ago. We did this event, and in San Diego, this postal worker was telling me the story about, as a mailman, he was delivering these little red envelopes from time to time to people's houses. And then all of a sudden he noticed the red envelopes were picking up. He said, it seemed like, at first it was a couple a day, then it was 10 a day. Then he said it was like almost every house was getting a red envelope delivered to their doorstep. Do you guys know what the red envelope was? It was Netflix. Now, some of you guys are too young to remember this, but there used to be a company called Blockbuster that was on every corner. It was everywhere. Your parents were renting movies for movie nights. You guys could watch The Little Mermaid, with some popcorn with the family. They were getting it from Blockbuster Video. They would go drive to the store and get those movies. Well, Netflix started sending those movies in the mail, red envelopes. And he said they were everywhere. And so then he called on, he's like, man, if I had to put $5,000 in Netflix when I saw this happening, he said, it would have been over, game over. I would have never had to work again. But then he said recently he started seeing something new being delivered in the mail. Guess what he started seeing? 23andMe, Ancestor.com, the DNA kits. He started seeing these DNA kits being, at first was a couple. Then he said, all of a sudden I noticed it was like a lot more. He says, every day now I'm delivering tons of these things on my route. When someone introduced him to Euphoria, guess what he thought right away? The DNA kits. He said, I won't miss this opportunity again. How many people wish you would have been the one who thought of, I don't know, Netflix? Or how many people wish we were Jeff Bezos and the Amazon? When Bezos saw what was happening in retail, the Walmarts and the establishment, the entrenched retailers that were stuck in their ways, they weren't making, great decisions. They weren't, they didn't have to think forwardly, because where else were we going to go? If you were going to go shopping, you had the big retailers you were going to, period. And they were making billions of dollars. Amazon came in and disrupted that whole thing. Should I go on? Airbnb. How many wish you started Airbnb? They don't own a single hotel, yet they're the largest hospitality provider on the planet. They have shifted the entire hospitality industry. Let's talk about where we're at. Euphoria. Let's talk about DNA nutrition for a second. You guys know by 2020, this will be a $600 billion industry. It hasn't even been tapped into yet. Google has invested $3.5 billion into a company called 23andMe, just to do the DNA testing part. Now we have that. We're doing the DNA test. They know that every single person on this planet will be doing a DNA test at some point here in the near future. It's coming whether we like it or not. And most of you get that already. So what I'm encouraging this team to understand is that, look, we are not, a lot of times we'll join an organization or we'll be part of a company or we'll work for a company that's competing with a disruptor. That's not always that fun. You know what I'm talking about? If you're competing with Amazon, that's not fun. If you're saying products you can find on Amazon for 50% less, plus if you're a Prime member, you get free shipping, that's no fun. I don't want to compete with them. The taxi business did everything they could to resist this. You guys know that, right? They were trying to keep you where Uber couldn't pick you up from the airport. In certain states, they were trying to ban it all together. But guess what happened? The people spoke. The market spoke. It didn't matter what the big establishment did. In the beginning, they had the money. They put the money towards lobbying the politicians. You guys understand all this stuff. Look, the same thing that's happening right now. The big entrenched establishment nutrition companies, the ones that control billions. Some of these companies are actually owned by the pharmaceutical companies. So you guys can get a clue about this right now. These are established big players, entrenched, big money sitting there. But they haven't changed in years. They haven't changed. What's changed? A new guru that tells you. They changed the label on their mass-produced, pre-processed, pre-packaged products. Guys, we're coming in and we are the disruptor. And when this resistance is happening, I talked about this last night, it's like taking a slingshot and the resistance is happening and it's pulling it back, it's pulling it back, it's pulling it back, pulling it back. But the people aren't resisting. If you just take the activity, if you just take the time to do the activity, you'll find out what I'm finding out. That they're not resisting. The people are saying, I want this. How do I get nutrition that's designed for me? Because we all know this mass-produced one-size-fits-all nonsense, it's not the reality of the situation. I see Jacqueline on here. Jacqueline, you're different than I am. You know, I'm male, you're female. You know,
Yeah.
see, either you're driving, I have hair, you don't have hair. You just took your hat off, brother. I had to call you out. We're different. We know we're different. I mean, we're people, but these established organizations that try to convince us and try to sell us whatever they want, they create billions of dollars doing it. And let me tell you something, guys. And I know we have limited time, so I want to do this quickly. This resistance from the establishment's been building, but the market is asking for it. For the last 3 years, the market's been asking for it. You guys know what happens when you let go of that? The surge is coming, guys. And that's why I'm telling people, I want to be like Ray Kroc with McDonald's. I want a distribution point on every single corner all over the world, because you can't sell 1 billion burgers from one distribution point. What do you got to do? You got to set up another one and another one, and then you prepare yourself for when that surge comes. So what we have right now in Euphoria, we've got an opportunity to get ourselves positioned before it comes. Here's the reason why it's so big for us. The barriers of entry for anybody to do what we do is massive. And I'm going to give you I'll give you 3 points. One of them I think is very clear. The first point, taking the DNA and putting it into a machine, taking the DNA test results, putting it into a machine, and then truly making a customized product, not a product that's been sitting on a shelf somewhere, and then we pick out 3 or 4 of those products and we send it to you, but putting it all in one bottle, then putting your name, our customer's name, right on the label, number one, is a huge barrier, because you have just one of those machines is $2.5 million just for one of those machines. Now, first off, you got to have the $2.5 million ready to go. You've got to have all of the IP, the intellectual property ready to go. You start to see there's a barrier right there, number one. The DNA side of it. There are companies that will do DNA tests, but you guys know it's taking 6 to 12 weeks on average for these companies to get their DNA tests back to people. And then they're written in scientific code that the average person couldn't read. What do? We're getting it back in less than 3 weeks. And it's red, green, yellow. Do we all understand red, green, yellow? We've made it so simple. My 9-year-old can do it. There's another barrier to enter. Let me give you, I got 4 more, but I'm gonna give you 1 more. This is another huge one. Why we're sitting in the best position you could possibly be sitting in. We're FDA compliant. To be FDA compliant means every single time a batch is put out. That means, Jacqueline, when your batch is made, that's one batch. They have to take a piece of your batch every single month and stored in an FDA compliant facility for 2 years. When mine is made, when Crystal's is made, when Caesar's is made, I can go right through here. DeMarcus, when his is made, and Danny, David, Bill, Mel, everybody that's on this call right now, Cheyenne, Brooke, DJ, every single one of us, they have to take a batch from every single one of us every single month. Guys, you understand the expense and the commitment that's involved just for that one piece. That barrier of entry is keeping the establishment from doing what they could do. Now, look, I love this because disruptors end up evening out the marketplace. Disruptors end up bringing competitive products into the market. I'm not so naive to believe that we're going to operate competition free forever, but guys, right now, we are the Amazon of our space. We are the Uber of our space. And if you get that, you'll start doing the activity. And I'm not saying start to, because some of you are already doing it. But what I'm doing every single day, I'm doing 30 exposures every single day. I've got an app that I use, and my app tracks every exposure that I make. When I press a button, it sends a video out. It tells me if my person on the other end watched the video, number one. It says if they even clicked on it. Then it tells me if they watched 10%, 50%. So I'm tracking everything. I'm developing ratios around. I'm catching on. If someone wants to make $5,000 a month, I can work backwards with them based on their activity. So hopefully you guys have a way of tracking your activity. If you don't, get with me and we'll start showing you how to track your activity so you can start to create ratios. So then when you're sitting down with the potential affiliate, just like if you're a franchisor, a McDonald's franchisor, you don't think they can't sit down with a franchisee and say, here's what it's going to look like. Here's your investment of money. Here's your investment of time. If you do this, this, and this, here's what you can expect as a return on your investment. What if we did that, guys? What if I showed you how to do exactly that by, first off, tracking your own progress, by developing these ratios, become real business professionals, real massive disruptors in the marketplace. And if you're not using the app, I'd encourage you to do it. And then we've got surveys, because I'm using on social media, I'm capturing people's attention on a regular basis by using surveys. You know, guys, it's crazy. The people that won't answer an email, but you send them a survey that says, take 30 seconds to fill out this survey, this health survey, or take 30 seconds to fill out this business survey. We're putting so many people in the business just by having them answer a few questions. And based on their survey, guess what? I've got another video that is sent directly to that person based on the answers to their survey. Then I created an Excel spreadsheet for the person that wants to know, how do you make $1,000 a month? How do you make $5,000 a month? $100,000 a month? $500,000 a month? I took it all the way up to $800,000 a month because I came here to make $1 million a month. So I can show someone anywhere between 0 and $1 million a month. I can show you how to get that type of revenue. I've got it in an Excel spreadsheet. And as a matter of fact, it shows how to do it in less than a year. Now you can play around with the numbers. So if I'm talking to a professional, a real business person that wants to get moving quickly, I got every piece figured out for them in advance. There's no guessing. This is a young group, guys, and I love the millennials, man. You guys have so much power in the marketplace. If you understand the value that you bring to the market, it is massive. Every company on the planet is trying to figure out how to market to you guys. But you know who knows how to market to millennials? Millennials. Man, any one of you decide that you're going to go out here and smash it, just dare yourself. Trust me on this. I dare you to do 30 exposures a day for 1 month. It takes me 30 minutes with my app to do 30 exposures a day. And all it is, I'm getting a video in someone's hand. So I've always got, every single day, I got another 30 people in some type of progression, whether I'm pulling them off Facebook, Instagram. We're using attraction marketing to get even more people looking at us, where they're asking me questions. They're popping in my DM every single day. They're in my DM, the old guy on Instagram, pulling more and more money. I'm showing influencers how to finally monetize their social media following. Everybody's talking about monetization, but what are they doing? They're getting affiliate programs where they're getting 10% kick, or they're putting on the affiliate code, which is played out. Nobody clicks on the affiliate code. Now, even the influencers are getting played out because we know they're trying to sell us a bunch of crap. What if we could show influencers how to backdoor the thing, how to have, not use affiliate codes, but now to have real residual income? Guys, you guys could build a financial wall around you and your family nothing could ever penetrate. I'm talking about ridiculous residual income coming in every single day of your life. When you're waking up to more money than you went to bed, you know, with there's more in your bank account the next day. Anyways, guys, yeah, someone said long-term drink out of a coconut money. Are you guys getting what I'm talking about? And all you got to do, look, all you got to do is say, I'm in. You put your hand up and say, I'm in. Just let me do the steps. And then we put together a step-by-step process. Guys, if you know me, I'd have to dumb everything down. I got 3 steps for everything. You know, 3 steps for everything I do. Everything is process-oriented. I don't leave anything to chance. And then we track everything to see where we're at. So then I can show someone, here's exactly what we did. And then we don't use a lot of words in between. Crystal knows that my favorite three words is I don't know. All I know is I got a video. I don't know, but take this survey and I'll tell you what the next step is. I don't know. All I know is Crystal is smashing it every single day. She's breaking recruiting records inside the company. I don't know. All I know is that I got people that are taking this product, and the testimonials from these people are through the roof. But everybody's got different stories because the product isn't designed to do one thing. It's designed to do what your body is asking it to do. I mean, we can go on and on this. Are you guys catching what I'm saying here? So anyways, I know it's a Sunday afternoon and some of you came from church and you look like you've been worshiping all day and you're tired. And I want to do this real quick, Crystal. I want to just open it up for some questions. I know we don't have a lot of time, but I'm opening up for questions. We can always do another call and people can contact me directly. You can give them my cell phone so they got access directly to me. If you text me and say, look, 3-way call, I need some validation. I need an old guy with some credibility to help me, bring somebody into the game. Then you put me on the phone because look, I've made tens of millions of dollars doing this. I've never had a company that was this ripe for explosion. I've made tens of millions of dollars, but my team has made hundreds of millions of dollars. This is my team, guys. You guys are the ones that will make the hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm just going to take my little piece of that, but I want to support and enhance what you bring to the table. And then when someone hits, you know, I don't know, let me just pick someone here. So when someone hits Danny up, and they're questioning him about his whatever, you know, his background, his age, his, you know, his tattoos, you know, whatever it is, he said, look, let me tell you about the guy that I'm working with. Let me tell you about John Malott. And now he takes it off of him. And then when he puts his prospect on the phone with me, guess what I do? I said, man, you don't understand. I would get Danny's autograph now, not for what he is today, for what he's about to be. And now we're talking edification. We're following a system. So when Danny goes back through the process with his prospect and they say, I'm not sure I can do this, you can say, what part can't you do? Have your whole business in the palm of your hand in your smartphone, press a button to send a 3-minute video, follow up by pressing another button. Oh, you had some questions. Remember what I did? I got an expert on the phone. What part couldn't you do? If you got a system oriented, a process oriented business, Burger Boy at McDonald's knows what. You want the number one, you press the button. Burger Boy in the back knows what wrapper it goes in. French fry fryer on the left because the McFlurry machine's always on the right. Every single one of us could run McDonald's franchises all over the world and make millions of dollars. We're doing the exact same thing here, guys, and I want to help you do that. So I apologize. Let's open up for questions. If anybody has any questions, I want to be able to get that now, or we can come back and revisit this. Crystal, I'm going to open up to you.
Yeah, so I definitely would want you just to hit on rapid funnel maybe for a minute or two.
Are we there?
Because none of us have really heard much about it. And I know there's a code, it's called Team Empire, I think. And then if you guys have any questions, you guys can feel free to open up your lines, unmute yourself, ask the questions that you guys have. Don't be shy. This is a perfect time to get your questions answered from someone who really, really knows what they're talking about.
Hey, look, I'll tell you, a confused mind does nothing. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, if you do have, anytime there's a question mark inside our heads, we don't do anything. It could be just something small. And I see the subconscious will hold you back from getting what you could possibly get. You won't be in vibration to get to that next level. So I just want to make sure if you do have a question, open up. Doesn't matter, whatever it is, nothing too small, too big, whatever.
Yeah, my question is, because I came from Herbalife. I used to do Herbalife, or I still do, but I want to know, like, exactly, I know the difference between this and Herbalife. I know the difference. I've seen it, and I think it's going to hit a home run. It's big. It's actually better than Herbalife. Not trying to knock it down, but I just want to know, how can I change routes from people that already know that I do Herbalife to doing something new that's going to actually be, you know, huge into more, you know, and more of their lifestyle, or their healthy lifestyle.
Well, let me tell you about a company like Herbalife. What they've done very well is built a culture. The same thing we're about to do. Culture is critical. It's hard to pull an Herbalife person because they don't even care what the product is. It doesn't even matter what the product does because they've built a culture around that organization. So it's very difficult to pull people from that type of culture. So here, the only way to do it is because you need a guy like me, number one. You've got to take it off yourself and say, let me introduce someone who knows Herbalife and respects Herbalife. Put someone like me on the phone. That's one step. The second step is you start to build that culture inside of you4. The same culture that you know that they have in Herbalife. You already have some of the best training on the planet. You start to create that culture. Now you start to smash it. Look, it's coming this way anyhow. It's coming this direction because Herbalife is however you look at it, it's a pre-processed, pre-packaged, pre-labeled, mass-produced product. They're being disrupted too, just like all the rest of them. They already know it because I got friends over there that are making big money and they're saying their checks are flat right now because they're competing with Amazon. Because I can tell you right now, I can go on Amazon and buy Herbalife products for half of what I could get it from the distributor. And again, I get it for free shipping because I'm a Prime member. I got Herbalife distributors. They're not even getting their product with free shipping. I'm getting it for free shipping from Amazon. So they know they've got to adjust. They're just, how do you move that big, massive machine around? How do you turn that thing? It's like trying to move the Titanic to keep it from hitting the iceberg. It's very difficult. They have a lot of moving parts. What do we don't have that, man. We're a speedboat right now. We can smash them. But get me involved and let me help you do that. Because the same thing with Isogenics. I can go right down the line. F Labs, there's so many of them. I got friends in all these companies and they're all saying the same thing, bro. They're already looking at how do I get a DNA test. But that's only one piece of our puzzle. The DNA, if you took the DNA test out and just looked at the quality of the ingredients we're bringing to the market, I got 80 ingredients in my one product with my name on the label. You know what I'm saying? There's whole companies, nutrition companies, they've built almost $1 billion revenue just taking one of the superfoods that we have in almost every one of our products. The acai berry, the mangosteen, I can go on and on, man. We got AC11. You know, they built the AC11, just that DNA repair compound alone. They took that one compound to almost $1 billion a year. That's just one piece to our nutrition puzzle. The other barrier of entry for these guys, it's also in the amount of ingredients. I don't know if you know this or not, but when you buy a multi whatever, now we're not a multivitamin, never say multivitamin because that's the least of what we are. We are a true nutrition, a supplement nutrition. We're a complete program because we got more superfoods, more herbs, more spices, and then you add vitamins and minerals on top of that. But the barrier for most of these companies is they're throwing a little, let's just use vitamin D for an example. Let's just say they say, okay, there's vitamin D in the product. So they throw 10 milligrams of vitamin D. I'm just throwing out any number. But let's say the clinical studies suggest that it's 100 milligrams that are getting the positive effect. They're just throwing the vitamin D in there to market to people. You know what we do at Euphoria? You know why we have, you guys, if you're not using the product, you better get on the product. You're missing the boat because one of the first questions people ask me is, tell me about the product. And I've been using the product, so I'm blown away by it. But watch this. We take the clinical study dosage. So if the clinical studies say that it was 100 milligrams that gave the positive results, guess what gets put in your product? 100 milligrams. If it's 100 milligrams of ACI or whatever the berry is, mangosteen or the axanthin. You know, axanthin's another big one. People are starting to throw it in their products, but they're putting so little in it, it's doing nothing. It's just all for marketing, where we're taking the clinical study dosage and putting it in your product. It's a big, big difference. And that's another barrier for entry because the cost to create just one of our designer formulas it's expensive to do. And again, it's another barrier to entry. So we have a window, guys. What we can get done in 1 week today, a year from now, it's going to take a month to do the same thing. What we can get done in 1 month today, a year from now, it's going to take you a year to do. I'm telling you, I've been through this before. 25 years in this space, you know, building businesses, not just here. You know, we got 2 companies going public on the NASDAQ, you know, this year. I know what it takes to take a company from zero to massive market penetration. We're sitting on a gold mine, but some of us, because we didn't invest anything, we invest $1,200 bucks. We got our product that we're getting every month for 150 bucks. It's nothing. So some of us aren't realizing what we have in our hands. Anyhow, long answer for a short question, brother, but we're taking companies like Herbalife out. Any other questions? I know the Zoom's going to end here in a few minutes anyways.
Yeah, we got about 7 minutes left.
All right. Any other questions? Danny, how you doing, brother? You doing good?
I'm doing well.
I like the swag, man. I like the Euphoria hat.
Thank you. I love this thing.
Representing.
Someone thought they thought it was euphoria. I'm going, no, it's a smiley face. They go with a foreign thing.
I love it, man.
I had a question.
Well,
what is one of the effective campaigns that you're utilizing? I kind of want to put my face in front of it. So, you know, obviously I've been doing marketing through my social media, but you know, I'm not getting people's names, you know, and numbers to be able to send them the information.
Oh yeah, you got to go in you got the Rapid Funnels app?
No, I don't.
In the Rapid Funnels app, we created a bunch of capture pages. I've actually created capture pages around surveys, which is I'm finding the most effective, where we have 2 surveys. One is a health survey, which of course you already know where that's leading toward. And they fill out the survey, and at the end, they fill in their name, they fill in their information. And It's taking them less than 1 minute to do the whole thing. So that's an amazing capture page. Then we also have the business side. So what I've done through my Instagram stories, and you know, you can see it. My fiance is smashing it right now, doing the same thing with her Instagram. We'll put it on the story. We'll run it. You know, 1 month we'll run the product side. I'll wait a couple of weeks because I don't want to just do sell. It's content, and then promote something. Content, then promote. Where people make a mistake is they're promoting. They're actually losing traction, losing followers. So we're teaching people how to do this more effectively. So then you do the product survey first. It'll capture their information. It goes right in your email. It's right there. It's a ding. You got another one. And then you do a bunch of content. And then a couple weeks later, you put out the business survey. And you guys know how the algorithms work. So one day you're getting a small piece of your audience seeing it, but you could do it at a different time on another day, and it's a whole different segment of your audience. So you guys get this more than I do. But we're rotating this stuff, and we've got a couple different capture pages that are capturing people's information. And then we built the funnel inside the app. Like I have a 3-step process. When I send someone, I do a little presentation. The first part is 2 minutes. I set the stage for our team, who we are. Then that presentation sends them to click on the next video right below the one they're looking at, and that's the 3-minute the Euphoria video that's only 3 minutes long. And I tell them in the first video, after you watch the 3-minute video, then click down. Then I talk about the 5 pillars that we built our team around. I'm just telling them why there'd be an unfair advantage to join this team. Working with us, culture, social media, leadership, team building, and track record. Because some people are joining teams with people that have no track record. Now, if you don't have a track record, you do now because you're part of this team. I break all that down. And then they scroll down, and there's testimonials from John Maxwell. Some of you guys know who John Maxwell is, but John Maxwell and I are friends. Mark Victor Hansen, who's the number 2 author in the world, right behind the Bible. He's sold more than 500 million books. He's got Les Brown, who I wrote a book with. He's got a test. So you guys are missing out on getting credibility from other sources. So I got 3 of those people. I got David Meltzer going up there. We got we're working right now. We're gonna have Warren Moon, Randall Cunningham putting testimonials about our product and what we do. And when people see that stuff, they can scroll down and hit join now. I'm signing people up without ever even having a conversation with them. And then on the app, we're doing contests around the activity. We're not telling the team you got to go and make all kinds of money. And I don't care about what your results are. I care about the activity you're doing. If you're sending out the video, if you're getting people in front of the information, you're going to win this game no matter what. Because activity is where it all starts. I had never had pressure on myself to get a certain result. The only pressure I put on myself is every day I'm going to do X amount of activity. For me, that's 30 exposures a day. For someone on here, maybe it's 2, maybe it's 10. I don't know what your lifestyle looks like. But I said I can dedicate 30 minutes to an hour to my business every single day to me building that financial wall around me and my family. Could you invest an hour a day to building a residual income that will keep you, paid for the rest of your life? I mean, look at what your parents are going to get when it's time to retire. Guys, we got people that their first month have a stronger residual income in Euphoria their first month than people that have worked 30 years for a company of what they're going to get in Social Security when they retire. I mean, you start thinking in terms of that, you guys could build a financial wall around you and your family, nothing can compete with. Think residual income. Work for cash flow. Robert Kiyosaki talks about it. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Cash flow. You're building a goose that lays golden eggs. So then you can go and do whatever you want. Be on the beach, start other businesses, contribute to society. Whatever it is that you want to do. You can't do that when you got to worry about how I'm going to pay the rent next month. Or you know what I'm talking about? Yep. So
what is the password for Rapid Funnel?
Team Empire.
All right. None of us are on Rapid Funnel besides maybe like a couple people. So we have a team of 9, and I'm definitely going to make sure they hit on that.
That's not the code, baby.
Is it pretty simple to figure out once you're inside of Rapid Funnel on how to use it and how to utilize it? Yeah,
well, there's tutorials in there. If you go to the Team Empire Facebook group too, you'll see we got and Team Empire Builders. We got so many people using the app right now, and we got so many tutorials on it. If you have any questions, just hit me up. All you got to do is you start putting your contacts, and it'll import your contacts right from your phone directly in there. So now once they're in there, now you just press buttons, and you can just send the stuff out. And
awesome. The Zoom is actually about to end, but could you just get really quick on the people who are like the very top of your leaderboard right now, how they're doing that? Like it's because they're using Rapid Funnel.
Yeah, there's a serious correlation I see because we're tracking activity on Rapid Funnel. So you're getting points for doing activity. You're getting points for engagement. So the app knows when someone clicked on the video. It also knows if they actually watched the video. So you're getting points for engagement. You're getting points for activity. And then we're running rewards. Like I gave away $2,500 each tickets, VIP tickets for our Build Your Empire